Это главное, похожее на тебя.
Russia has a fearsome reputation, part of which can be attributed to its extreme northern climate. Does Russia's climate reality measure up to its reputation? I think you'll be surprised as we explore this proud country on foot, by water, over air, and by rail, as Russia's climate, like its fine people, has a warm side. We begin our journey in the capital city of Moscow. Like much of European Russia, Moscow experiences a warm summer continental climate. January and February temperatures of -7 degrees Celsius on average. Moscow is one of the colder capital cities in the world, but not nearly as cold as such frigid capitals as Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, Nur Sultan, Kazakhstan, or Ottawa, Canada. Leaving the hustle and bustle of Moscow, we move south on the Sochi Trail towards the warm waters of the Black Sea. We come to Voronezh, a stronghold of the powerful Russian Orthodox Church. All seasons are warmer here when compared to Moscow. Continuing on the Sochi Trail along the Ukrainian border, the weather begins to warm, and arriving on the Don River, the climate crosses out of continental and into temperate, with Rostov-on-Don enjoying a humid subtropical climate. January's average -3 degrees Celsius, and summers average 23 degrees in July and August. Crossing into the Russian province of Krasnodar Krai, we find ourselves in the land of the legendary Cossack people, who ride on horseback across the temperate pastures. Here we come to the end of the Sochi Trail, and arrive in the great Olympic city of Sochi, backing on to the Caucasus Mountains. Sochi's humid subtropical climate is further moderated by the effects of the Black Sea, with comfortable springs, autumns, and winters, and hot, steamy summers. Rain occurs at least half of every month outside of summer in Sochi. The nearby administrative center of Krasnodar share these conditions with somewhat cooler winters. Sochi and the surrounding Black Sea coastal area are not the only parts of Russia with a temperate climate. Jumping across Ukraine and Poland, we come to the Russian outpost of Kaliningrad on the Baltic Sea, which has an oceanic climate with cool winters, moderate summers, and consistent rains year around. It's noticeably similar in climate to parts of Wallonia in Belgium that we explored in the last episode. Moving inland from the Black Sea to the mighty river Volga, we come to the city of Volgagrad, formerly known as Stalingrad, the site of the famous, prolonged, and vicious Battle of World War II. This city has a hot summer continental climate. Upriver from Volgograd is the city of Kazan. Like the nearby cities of Samara, Nizhny Novgorod, and Ufa, Kazan has a warm summer continental climate. Winters are cold and snowy. Now, let's hop aboard the Trans-Siberian Railway and head east into the belly of Mother Russia. We cross the Ural mountain range aboard the Trans-Siberian Railway and arrive at the border between Europe and Asia, the city of Yekaterinburg. Now east of the Urals and vulnerable to gusts of Siberian and Arctic winds, the climate begins to cool compared to Kazan. Our train turns southeast through the Eurasian steppe into Siberia, and we arrive at Siberia's largest city, Novosibirsk. It's no surprise that the hardy citizens of Novosibirsk take refuge in the underground metro, in a city where the winter temperature drops to an average of minus 17 degrees Celsius in January. Light but frequent snow marks the winters here. These are very similar climate conditions to that of Omsk, which we passed along the way. Our train rolls on for another 800 kilometers until we reach the city of Krasnoyarsk on the Yenisei River, whose basin is largest in the world to flow into the Arctic Ocean, thousands of kilometers north through Siberia. Krasnoyarsk's typical southern Siberian conditions include warm summers and cold winters, during which light snow falls on most days. The train ride from Krasnoyarsk to the coast is 2 days of non-stop travel and 5,000 kilometers traversing dry winter continental conditions. On the way we make a brief stop to take a dip in the cold waters of Lake Baikal, the world's largest and deepest freshwater lake, larger than the entire Kingdom of Belgium. Back on the train, we chug along the Mongolian and Manchurian Chinese border, arriving at the seaside city known as Vladivostok, at the eastern terminus of the Trans-Siberian Railway, not far from Japan and China. The Pacific Ocean has a warming effect here, and all seasons are substantially warmer than that of the inland cities we've passed east of the Ural Mountains. But nonetheless, the Siberian winds keep it nippy half of the year. Our seaside vacation doesn't last long, and it's time now to board our helicopter and venture deep into the frozen north of Russia, to the city of Yakutsk, the coldest large city in the world. Yakutsk has a subarctic climate of warm summers, cold springs and falls, and tooth-chatteringly, frost-bitingly freezing winters, averaging at minus 39 degrees in January. That's cold enough to develop severe frostbite in just a few minutes. I say we hightail it out of here, back towards the coast. Here we are, back on the Pacific, not far from Alaska, in the city of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatskiy, and are relieved and surprised to find mild-ish temperatures here, over 2,000 kilometers north of Vladivastok. The moderating winds of the Pacific Ocean also bring ample precipitation, which falls year around. Sufficiently warmed, we turn north towards the Arctic. The Russian far north is lightly populated, and we abandon our chopper and board a private jet plane. Flying over eastern Russia, we pass through some of the rarest climates on Earth, such as dry summer extreme cold subarctic and dry winter extreme cold subarctic, both with at least one winter month averaging below minus 38 degrees Celsius. Thousands of kilometers to the west, we land at the oil and gas city of Novy Urengoy, a city with a subarctic climate with very short, sometimes warm summers, and bitterly cold, long winters with below zero average temperatures from October through April. It's a very isolated city in the north. And now, flying north of Novy Urengoy, we come to the north coast, the Arctic Ocean, with a tundra climate where not even the warmest winter months exceed 10 degrees Celsius. And you don't want to hear about the conditions during those many winter months. Turning west towards Arkhangelsk, just outside the Arctic Circle. This is the world's largest city with a subarctic climate on account of short and cooler summers. But it's strange and merciful that winters here are about average compared to the cities we've seen. No doubt the surprisingly mild winters contributed to the growth of the city. Just to the north, inside the Arctic Circle, the Cold War submarine base of Murmunsk surprisingly experiences even more moderate winter averages than Arkhangelsk, with minus 10 degrees Celsius averages in January. Turning south, our jet soon lands at our final destination of St. Petersburg, the former capital of Russia during the Tsarist era. Sheltered by the warming effects of the Baltic Sea, St. Petersburg enjoys a warm continental climate. You can take cover from the chilly winters in the pomp and luxury of Winter Palace. St. Petersburg is also known as the Venice of the North, as there are canals to navigate the warm, wet summers and moderate springs and falls, where the beauty of Russian art, architecture, and culture make it clear why Russia is on top of the world. With that, subscribe to Climate Time and enjoy the world tour each week.